I was told in chambers that there was some newly discovered evidence that the state wished to present in rebuttal regarding carbon monoxide testing. Would you tell me what that was?
Yes, Your Honor. We have blood gas evidence from Hennepin County that would contain blood gas readings for the carbon monoxide content in Mr. Floyd's blood on May 25th of 2020.
All right. And when was it discovered? How was it discovered? Why
Why
was it not disclosed earlier?
It was discovered yesterday by Dr. Baker. And what had precipitated it, Your Honor, was a piece of new evidence. It was a disclosure that came from the stand during the testimony of Dr. Fowler. And I want to show Your Honor exactly what it was. It was in one of the slides that Your Honor can see here if I adjust the camera. And what I'm referring to, Judge, is this very last reading here on the bottom, where from the stand and the slide that Mr. Nelson prepared was the statement and the discussion that in 7 minutes, Mr. Floyd's carboxyhemoglobin could have increased by 10 to 18%. Now, that was a new opinion. The word carboxyhemoglobin does not appear in the 31 pages of Dr. Fowler's report at all, nor a discussion about the carboxyhemoglobin content in his blood. Now, the concept of carbon monoxide was raised in the report, but not blood gas issues related to it. It was sort of discussed in the same context of sort of taking drugs through the rectum and other things that were raised generally, but not a specific reference to the carboxyhemoglobin content in Mr. Floyd's blood. Dr. Baker heard the testimony, had not himself ever requested this, nor had the ER physicians. They explained that when somebody's brought in and blood gases are taken, there's a panel of them that are taken. The ones that get generated in the records would be the ones that the ER physicians actually request. Nobody requested carbon monoxide readings because they didn't see how that was relevant, frankly. And no one had until this testimony yesterday that was specific to the carboxyhemoglobin content of the blood and set it at 10 to 18%. Now, Judge Cahill, what everybody did have access to would be the flip side of the equation. There was information on the arterial blood gas content that showed the oxygen saturation content in Mr. Floyd's blood, and the oxygen saturation was at 98%, which meant necessarily, to the extent there was any carbon monoxide in the blood, it would be at most 2%. This was the takeaway that a Dr. Tobin had yesterday from this new disclosure, and we disclosed that to counsel, that would be something that Dr. Tobin could address based on information that everybody did have available. Dr. Baker simply then addressed the flip side of it. Was there a reading or measurement specifically on the carbon monoxide in light of this testimony from Dr. Fowler from the stand yesterday on the carboxyhemoglobin content and the slide which Mr. Nelson introduced?
Well, let me clarify one thing. When was the test actually run?
It was run the night of May 25th when George Floyd was brought in.